Seminole basketball with Loucks. Here is the voice of the Seminoles, Culhane.
Well, it's great to be back with you on a Wednesday night, live from Glory Days Grill here in Tallahassee. A special edition of Inside Seminole Basketball, as it's a split version, I guess you will, of the program. Our first 30 minutes, we're at the head man here at Florida State men's basketball, Loucks. We'll also hear from A.J. Swinton. And then in the second half hour of the program, Florida State women's basketball head coach Brooke Wyckoff is here tonight, as is Soleil Williams and Tatum Green, which is going to be a whole lot of fun talking with those FSU standouts. But how about that win last night? That's how you close a game, ladies and gentlemen. Please give it up for the head man, Loucks, everybody, with us here tonight.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations on a win, and I tell you what, 17-4 over the last 4.5 minutes or so, and over the last about 11 minutes, 32-10 by your team on Tuesday night. I know the first 30. Maybe
you don't want to talk about the first 30?
I didn't. You can if you want.
Just act like that didn't happen.
I know. I bring up the fun parts for you, I guess. But congratulations on a win.
Thank you first and foremost. Thank you guys for coming. It's always packed house here at Glory Days.
Great crowd tonight. Yes.
We have some special. Not my family's here. My wife's trying to wrangle the kids here, feed them. The pastor that married Stevie and I, our college pastor, Dean and Sarah and his family are here.
All right. There we go.
Thank you, Dean. A couple of our neighbors are here that we see driving by, and he's always yelling at me to slow down. I'm trying to get to work. I'm kidding.
Yes,
I don't drive that fast. But a couple of our neighbors are here. Great crowd.
Really
good
tonight.
crowd. We got to get the tuck filled up like Glory Days.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I'm with you.
We do. All right.
I'm all about that.
But, going back to the game, that game is tricky because we're coming off a big road win up at Virginia Tech, probably one of our better games of the year. It's human nature for our players to feel good about what we were doing, and it's my job to bring them back to reality. Yeah. And then the game is sandwiched in between another huge game on the road at Clemson, a top 15 team in the country. And we were very aware that there could be a little bit of a letdown to start the game. We approached it, and I talked to the team. I thought we had some of our best practices leading up to that game, and we still came out sleepwalking. It was unbelievable. But I'm glad that the character in our locker room kicked in at some point in the game, and we were pressing every button we could to get them going. And then they kicked into gear and did what they needed to do to win that game.
They certainly did. 80-72 win last night over Boston College. Just the third time that BC has given up 80 or more points in a game all season long. So Loucks, his Noles, kicked it in to high gear when they needed it most. And our truest hero of the game was a huge reason because of that. Robert McCray, the fifth. How great was he on Tuesday night? 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And Robert has been shooting the three unbelievably well, Coach, for you over the last 5 games. He's 9 of 21 from downtown in his last 5.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
And Rob's a guy that has always been able to shoot the ball, but his statistics weren't up to par with the way his talent was shooting the ball. We saw it in practice. We see how hard he works at a shot. But he can do so many other things, and he has to do so many other things for us to have a chance to win these games. And I'm so thrilled for him that his shooting's coming around. But it's the least of my worries. I'm going to keep preaching to Rob. And his teammates to do their job, and Rob's job is to lead our team, to be a defender, to have a presence as your starting point guard, to facilitate and set up his teammates, and then in the big moments he's got to score for us. And I don't really care how he scores. I just want that ball to go in the hoop.
And he's done so in all season long, but especially in ACC play, in double figures in every game, right around 16 points per game in conference action for Robert McCray the fifth. Hey, when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking and wavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. As we are live, special show here on Wednesday night at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Going to have some fun here this evening. Stop on by Wednesday nights during the hoop season, 7 to 8 p.m. for an all-star selection of food, drinks, and to hear from Florida State basketball players and staff. Coming up, we'll continue the talk of the BC win, but also, how about that victory in Blacksburg last Saturday against Virginia Tech? Very impressive by the Noles. That and more on the way. Just getting started. Live from Glory Days Grill. We are back after this timeout.
It didn't start here.
But everything it stood for still does.
Some things change.
And some things never change.
Tradition, dedication to excellence, a program built on grit.
And driven by growth.
From the tunnel to the turf, every step forward tells a story.
Just like ours.
Where growth, determination, and a dedication to excellence meet.
Scott and Wallace.
Hey, your voice is amazing. Let him hear it.
When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more.
Give me a word, give me a sign. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find.
You're unstoppable.
I'm just getting started.
Well, I'm here to help.
At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking.
Your home. It's the one place that no matter how busy life gets, your friends and family can always find you. It's where they can show you they care, they want to celebrate with you, or they just have your back. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning are always available to make sure your home and all the people who love to share it with you are comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, we will always be there for you.
Stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins. From Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, this is Inside Seminoles.
All right, great to be back. This Florida State men's team is playing well. They're hot right now. You guys know all about that, as the Noles have won 6 of their last 8 games and have been doing it in impressive fashion, home, away, and against some very, very good opponents here with the head coach, Loucks. And, you know, going back, we talked about Boston College briefly in segment number 1, but, man, how your group in the second half at Virginia Tech completely took over and dismantled the Hokies. A place we hadn't won, Coach, since 2020. Been 6 years since FSU basketball won at Castle Coliseum, and you guys put together the biggest margin of victory on the road in the history of that series with the win over Virginia Tech. Had to be extremely satisfying on the way back home after that win.
Yeah, it was probably our best half of basketball, a complete half of basketball. Everyone's going to talk about our offense because I think we put up 53 points and the ball was going in. Martin Somerville found rhythm. He was in one of those zones where everything he threw at the basket was going in. Yeah. But I was more pleased on the defensive end, and we were able to pull away in that game. And our offense benefited from our defense. When you sit down and guard and get stops and make it really difficult on the opponent to score the ball, and you rebound, that can be very deflating for an opponent.
Yeah.
And when an opponent is deflated, all of a sudden your offense is a lot easier. And those two things to me go hand in hand, especially on the road. That's a tough environment. I was trying to explain to our guys. Most of them haven't played there before. I think we had 3 or 4 guys on our current team that has played in that arena, and it's one of the loudest arenas in the ACC when it's full, and it was about 95% full for that game, and it's a tough place to win. It is what it is. So again, a credit to our locker room for figuring it out in the second half. We're just going to sit down and guard, make it really, really tough to score, and then we're going to go to exactly what's working offensively. Keep it really simple, set great screens, play with pace. But also Martin had it going, and we just ran play after play for him, and he got it done.
Yeah, defense phenomenal in that 92-69 win at Virginia Tech on Saturday afternoon. But, yeah, let's talk about Martin Somerville. That young man was on a heater. At one point, he scored 11 points in a row, 16 of our 18 at a stretch in the second half of play. And he just had it going. He had that feel. You've seen it many times in practice, and he showed everybody in a big way what he's capable of.
Yeah, I don't know if it's correlation or causation or just science, but Martin did the interview last week here, and then he had the best game of his life. So AJ, no pressure. AJ is coming up with a 30-point game coming up at Clemson, no pressure. And Jeff told me that's why Martin played so well. Whatever they talked about, I didn't hear it because I had to take the kids home, but whatever they talked about worked. So keep doing that with AJ next.
I got you.
No, Martin has the ability to really put the ball in the basket, and the best part about that game is up to that game he had been struggling. I think he was 2 for his last 19 or 21 shots. He couldn't find rhythm, but he was never pressing. And a lot of guys, when they can't make shots, all of a sudden they get out of character and play bad basketball.
Right.
And Martin just found ways to impact the game. I think the Notre Dame game, he had 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Yeah. Another game, he had 3 or 4 steals. So he was still impacting the game. The shots just weren't falling. And we all knew it because you come to a lot of our practices. He gets going in practice, and it's like he can't be stopped. And it was only a matter of time before those habits show up in crunch time in a game.
And speaking of how he's affected the game outside of scoring, Martin Somerville has not turned the basketball over in 113 consecutive minutes. Knock on wood. He's taking care of the ball and doing a lot of great things for this Florida State men's basketball team.
You may have just jinxed it.
I just did. That's called the broadcaster's jinx. Although it's not during the game, so I don't know if that's the science of it. You know
that's
what
fair.
I mean?
That's fair.
Fair?
Yeah. That's fair.
So if he turns it over, it's on me for Saturday. That's for sure. As our program brought to you in part by Carver's Discount Cleaners. They are mean on stains and green on earth. Try new Eco Green dry cleaning at Carver's Discount Cleaners, 1242 North Monroe Street in Midtown. And did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported, is not funded by tax dollars? We rely on fans to join Seminole Boosters. Your teams have the best chance to succeed on and off the court. Membership starts at $5 per month and comes with great benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more. Coming up, we'll continue on with the head man of the Noles, Loucks. Big game Saturday at Clemson. A noon tip at Littlejohn Coliseum. That more on the way. We are back after this timeout.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
It didn't start here.
But everything it stood for still does.
Some things change.
And some things never change.
Tradition, dedication to excellence, a program built on grit.
And driven by growth.
From the tunnel to the turf, every step forward tells a story.
Just like ours.
Where growth, determination, and a dedication to excellence meet.
Scott and Wallace.
Hey, your voice is amazing. Let him hear it.
When you work with someone who knows a lot and
3,
cares even
4.
more.
Give me a word, give me a sign. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find.
You're unstoppable.
I'm just getting started.
Well, I'm here to help.
At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking.
Your home. It's the one place that no matter how busy life gets, your friends and family can always find you. It's where they can show you they care, they want to celebrate with you, or they just have your back. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning are always available to make sure your home and all the people who love to share it with you are comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, we will always be there for you.
How many women's games have y'all been to? Like up to. Are you able to use our tickets? Have you been able to get anybody to go with you?
And the coach coming up on Inside Seminole Basketball.
And we continue on a special edition of Inside Seminole Basketball here on Wednesday night, live from Glory Days in Tallahassee, here with the head man, Luke Loucks. Coming up, A.J. Swinton is on the program tonight. And in our second half hour, we're talking all things Florida State women's basketball. Jack Capovit will be up here at the main table with the head coach, Brooke Wyckoff, Soleil Williams, Tatum Green. One heck of a show coming your way here this evening. As our program brought to you in part by Wolfson Children's Hospital, odds are beaten here at Wolfson Children's, always here, the official children's hospital of Florida State Athletics. So, Coach, let's get right into it. Our Scott and Wallace keys to success as we get ready to go on the road in a place, as you know, it's tough to go and win. Little John Coliseum at Clemson Saturday afternoon, a noon tip. As we're talking right now, they're playing Wake Forest as we speak in Winston-Salem. Kind of walk me through the challenge from your perspective and going in there and having success on the road in ACC play.
Now, last show when we were about to play Virginia Tech, they had the Virginia Tech game on.
Yeah.
And I gave them a compliment.
Oh, boy. I don't see it.
The Clemson game should be on.
Should be on.
So we can multitask.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
You know, as a program, we're all going to improve. No, Clemson, similar to Virginia Tech, is a really, really tough place to play. Yeah. It's in the middle of nowhere. You're surrounded by farms. You got to drive an hour to get into town when you land. There's nothing easy about going into Clemson and playing there. And that's not even talking about what they do on the court. And on the court, we're going to start diving into it tomorrow with the team. They're tough. They're physical. Yeah. They play an interesting style of basketball, kind of an old school, rough you up style. And so we're going to have to be on our game. And the good thing is, and you guys have seen this, it seems like every week we improve. Yeah. And that's a sign to me of a team that wants to get better. They show up every day with a purpose, and a team that can beat quote-unquote better teams. Yeah. We're going into a place where I don't know exactly what their record is, 10-2 in the ACC maybe. We'll see if they beat Wake tonight, but that's a team that's going to be very difficult to beat regardless of where you play, not only just going on the road and getting after them, but to me, our guys are hitting a good rhythm now. It doesn't really matter who we play. Right. We're going to try to play our style. We're going to try to enforce our will defensively. We're going to try to play with pace offensively. We're going to try to move the ball, have good spacing, have good cutting. We're going to try to attack the rim, create efficient shots, and really that formula doesn't really matter who you play. If you do it to the best of your abilities, you're going to have a good shot.
Yeah, rebounding always key, especially against a team like Clemson, like you talked about. Super physical. They're all over the glass, or they want to turn into a fist fight, a backyard brawl, if you will. Last night, your guys, again, outstanding on the glass, plus 12 in the rebounding margin. How has your group continued to grab that buy-in, grasp that on the rebounding aspect each game?
Yes, it's something we work at every day, every single day, even in shoot-around where most teams and organizations, shoot-around is kind of a walkthrough. You walk through their plays, and you get shots, and you feel good about what you're doing. Our boys are in there battling for rebounds to start the shoot-around, but it's a good reminder of what's important to us to win games.
Yeah.
We're not the biggest team, we're not the strongest team, but you have to have a will. You have to have a fight and a spirit about what you're doing, and to me that shows up most in rebounding. Rebounding size does help you, but most of it is a heart thing and an energy and a focus thing. And if you work at it every day, you get better at it. And I thought we lost that Virginia game, one, because we didn't score, for what seemed like an eternity. The ball just didn't go in. But two, down the stretch, I think they had 3 or 4 offensive rebounds that led to points for them. And if that doesn't happen, we still win that game. So it was a good learning lesson in going into Virginia Tech and then going into last night against Boston College. If you battle on the boards and you get stops and you rebound, regardless of how your offense goes, you always want to score the ball. But regardless, you're going to have a good shot at winning the game. And I think our guys have really grasped onto that in a good way.
And amazingly, we're to a point where we've got 5 games left. I know you're focused on each day getting better, but you take a look at the remaining schedule. 5 games left with Clemson on the road, Miami coming to town next Tuesday, at Georgia Tech, at Pitt, and SMU to finish out the season. I know you're day by day, but you like the way your guys are continuing their improvement.
Yeah, we try to stay, like you said, focused on what we can control right now. But again, human nature, we have in coaches' meetings zoomed out a little bit. Obviously, now we're fighting for seeding in the ACC tournament. The highest teams get a double bye, but if you're all the way up to, I believe, the 8 or the 9 spot, you get a first night bye. So you get 1 extra day of rest before that 8-9 game. If you can somehow get to 7, which is not impossible, you get a first round bye. And and then all those bottom teams from 15 to 8 have to play to duke it out to get to the next round. But all of that really, in like I told the staff, if we win the next 100 games, we're going to win a couple national titles. You can keep zooming out as far as you want. To me, it doesn't matter if you don't focus on right now. If you don't focus on beating Boston College, if you don't focus on 2 great practices leading into Clemson, if you don't focus on Clemson, you're going to be in trouble. And so we're going to continue that approach of, okay, who's the next opponent, and pour out every ounce of energy into beating that opponent, and the rest will take care of itself.
Coacher, always great seeing you. Let's keep it rolling this
Thank
weekend.
you so much.
There
Thank you
go.
guys for coming.
That's the head coach, Luke Loucks, with us here on Inside Seminole Basketball. Coming up, A.J. Swinton's presence has been key in this run for Florida State Hoops. A.J. joins us on the other side. We are back right after this timeout.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
It didn't start here.
But everything it stood for still does.
Some things change.
And some things never change.
Tradition, dedication to excellence, a program built on grit.
And driven by growth.
From the tunnel to the turf, every step forward tells a story.
Just like ours.
Where growth, determination, and a dedication to excellence meet.
Scott and Wallace.
is Jeff Culhane.
And we are back live from Glory Days here in Tallahassee. Welcome back to Inside Seminole Basketball. Big thanks to the head coach of FSU Men's Hoops, Loucks, for joining us here on the program in this first half hour. Coming up, Brooke Wyckoff on the program tonight, talking Florida State women's basketball. Soleil Williams. Fun are you having playing basketball, AJ?
I'm having a great amounts of fun. Early on in the season it was hard. We was losing. Losing is never fun. But now that we found our momentum, it feels great to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What do you feel like when you think about how the guys have come together and you guys have taken your level as a team to that high point and continuing to get better? What are some of the things that you would tell our fans about this group and how you guys have continued to improve? What stood out to you?
I'd say it was everything came from within the team. We didn't really have to rely on the coaches. Once we went on our first stretch of losses, we all understood what we needed to do to will ourselves back into where we need to be.
There you go. Our conversation with our student athletes brought to you by Seminole Boosters as well, here with A.J. Swinton. And you're a guy that your minutes have picked up here over the last few weeks or so. And defensively, I enjoy watching you play on that end of the floor. I know a lot of our fans do as well, with how active you are. What's that mentality like? And it seems like the whole team has really taken it on, as you have as well. Take us through how you embrace some of those great block shots you go and grab and some of the steals you have to open up the fast break.
I've always been taught, it doesn't really matter if you score a lot in the game. You can impact the game in so many other ways. Coach Luke, he told us, you only have the ball in your hands maybe 5% of the game.
Yeah.
The other 95, what are you going to do?
Right.
You got to affect the game, whether it's boxing out your man. That's something we've been emphasizing, chip rebounding, back tipping for a steal, just the tiny little things that other people don't want to do. That's what I've been able to share with my teammates. That's something I've always embraced, and now I feel the whole team is embracing that, and that's helped us trend in the right direction.
No doubt about it. AJ, what is more satisfying, a big block shot right at the rim, a guy trying to dunk it, or you dunking it on someone in their face? Because you're one of the most athletic guys in the league. What's better? What's more satisfying for you?
I think pinning a shot at the rim.
There you go.
Sure.
Yeah. You did that at Virginia Tech. You've done that a few times here this season. No question about that. As this group has continued to develop and come together, it's tough, right? 11 newcomers. You and Alir Malouk and Jalen Crawford are the three guys that were here a year ago, and so you guys are all learning each other. These new guys that aren't new guys anymore, obviously, have been together for a long, long time. What made this group that came in special in your mind in gelling this thing together? Guys like Rob McCray, LeJay Jones, as veterans on this basketball team.
I'd say something every one of them had in common was that they came from a place where they thought, they could have been where they were the guy. Excuse me, let me reword that. And so now they wanted to come to a place where it's like everybody that was the guy can now help each other become one collective unit.
Yeah.
And that's just everybody's mentality has just it's just clicked.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, keep doing your thing. It's fun watching you play, and look forward to seeing you Saturday at Clemson. All right? There you go. It's A.J. Swinton, everybody. What a season he's having, and he's been a big part to the success of Florida State basketball over the last month or so. And our program brought to you in part by Truist. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Coming up, the second half of our program, Brooke Wyckoff will join Jack Kavovit here at the main table talking Florida State women's basketball. That and more on the other side. We are back after this timeout.
Hey, your voice is amazing. Let him hear it.
When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more.
Give me a word, give me a sign. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find.
You're unstoppable.
I'm just getting started.
Well, I'm here to help.
At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking.
Your home. It's the one place that no matter how busy life gets, your friends and family can always find you. It's where they can show you they care, they want to celebrate with you, or they just have your back. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning are always available to make sure your home and all the people who love to share it with you are comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, we will always be there for you.
More inside Seminole basketball. Here is Jack Kennedy.
Well, welcome back into Glory Days Grill inside Seminole basketball special edition. So glad to be up here with you, Jack Cavavit, now alongside the head coach of FSU women's basketball. Let's get a warm welcome and round of applause for Brooke Whitecomb.
Thanks, Jack. How are you?
So good. Thank you for giving us some of your time tonight. Always glad to talk to you, Coach. I want to start recapping some of your last week and a couple of games that you had. Let's go back to the last one we had inside the Tucker Center. A win versus Boston College. Big-time win for you. 4 players in double figures for your group as well. That was the first time we saw that since back versus Syracuse. Talk to me a little bit about the balance with this team when it all comes together like that.
Yeah, we're really experiencing just some flow offensively and just playing really, really well together, sharing the ball, and you know, the other half of an assist is making shots. Yeah. So we're making shots, we're knocking threes down, we're finishing inside, and so yeah, that win against Boston College was a really fun one.
Yeah, 3 players scored 18-plus points as well. One of them we'll hear from later is Soleil Williams. Another one was Tatum Green, who was playing against her former team. And what an impact that she had defensively in that game. 4 blocks for Tatum. That's the second time that she's done that in her career. And I know that game probably meant a little bit more to her, but what can you say about the job that she's done defensively for this group this year?
Tatum is so versatile defensively, and that's one of the reasons we love having her on the floor. She can guard any position. She's long, she's fast, she's athletic, and she rebounds really well. And so her ability to do all the things defensively, a lot of which doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, is invaluable and a huge key to us winning.
Yeah, second on the team in both steals and blocks, and if you combine them, call them stocks, she leads the team in that category. So she's been fantastic there in that area this season. Another player, Coach, who had a great impact in that game was Jazz Shavers, a transfer into your team as well this year. She's second on this team in scoring. It was also her second career double-double in that game. So I got to ask you the same question about her impact, not defensively, but on offense for this group this year.
Yeah, Jazzy's a scorer, and that's what we need her to do. And so when she's playing confident, she's shooting the ball, you know, it's really, again, it's what we need to be able to win games. And so we love when we see the ball go in for her, but she never, it changes. She comes to work hard every single day, no matter what. And she's just an amazing person first, which I love coaching her. And yeah, she had 10 rebounds that game. She was a monster on the boards.
Yeah, no doubt it was. And Coach, we'll fast forward now to Sunday. It was a tough game versus a top 10 Louisville team on the road. Always tough to win on the road. But a player we talked about pregame who was battling some injury was Ali Kubek. And you said it. She had a strung together a couple of good practices in a row, and she showed it. I think that was her best game as a Seminole, and would you agree with that?
Yeah, Allie's been on the big stage. I mean, she's played in some really high-level basketball games at her previous schools, and so she wasn't afraid of the moment, and she was ready to come in and give whatever was needed to the team. And yes, we had talked about it. She had practiced so well, just was locked in for 2 days, and so I knew she'd be ready to come in and make an impact, and she did. Wow, she scored, she rebounded, and was a huge factor for us, and will continue to be going forward.
Yeah, 18 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double for Allie in that game. It was also, Coach, the 8th time this season that your team has made 9+ or 10+ 3-pointers in a game, and 3 of the times have been against top 10 opponents. What does that area add when your team can light it up like that downtown in a game?
Yeah, I mean, every single player on our roster is a capable 3-point shooter, and we give everyone the green light. If they're open, we want them to knock it down with confidence. And so that's one of our best strengths, is to knock down the 3, to shoot the 3. And so, yeah, when we're hitting, it's good. It's a good thing, and that's how we get those assists as well.
Yeah, well, another area that I thought was so special was we were obviously in Louisville, Kentucky, just about 2 hours south down the road from Ohio, where yourself, of course, Soleil Williams, and freshman Mari Gurton all grew up and spent a lot of time. And it was so great to see the support that was there behind the bench in that game. I heard them just with the headset on all game screaming when Soleil made a bucket, when Mari was making plays. Just talk to me about that, to have the support from your family and, of course, the players as well.
Yeah, you know, that area of the country holds a special place in our hearts. And anytime we can get family and friends on the road supporting, it just reminds us how many people have sacrificed, how many people have just put so much into the success of these young women. And I know they feel that too. And so to see that huge crowd for Mari and Soleil, who played at the same high school, so we had a lot of Princeton high school folks there, their high school coach. It was really, really special. And both young ladies put on a great performance. They had a really great individual games and made all their folks proud.
Yeah, let's talk about that high school team, by the way. Your senior year, Soleil, 28-2, I believe. You and Mari both 1-2 in scoring on that team. Pretty darn impressive. The Princeton Vikings right there.
Woo.
So held it down as well. Let's actually talk about Soleil, who we'll hear from a little bit more in this show. The improvement that she has had coming over from Texas A&M, spent 2 seasons there, but boy, has she blossomed as a Nole this year. Your leading scorer, you see it on the screen right there, 15.5 points per game, 6.5 in her time there at Texas A&M, but she has really transformed as a scorer, a playmaker in your offense. What have you seen just from day one in Soleil's growth?
Yeah, I'm so proud of Soleil. There's so many, we see the amazing stats, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes to achieve those stats, that Soleil puts the work in, has stayed the course, has been patient, has continued to just come back every day. You know, despite the frustration of learning a new system, having to run the team, and just kind of dive in. So I've recruited Soleil forever. I've known her since when she was in high school, and I knew she would flourish here at Florida State. And I was so excited to get her on our team. But again, it's her that's put in the work. It's her that's taken all the feedback, all the coaching, all the hard days. And I just love seeing the results. And she's got a really bright future.
No doubt about that. 17 times she was in double figures in 2 years at Texas A&M. Already 20 times she's eclipsed 10+ points so far this season. So she's knowing how to score the basketball. Yeah. That is for sure. Hey, Noles fans, listen up. This May 15th, take your garnet and gold pride to the high seas on the Noles Fan Cruise. Departing from Port Everglades and Fort Lauderdale, we will sail to Bimini, Bahamas, Coco Cay for an unforgettable weekend of sun, fun, and pure Seminole fandom. You'll be cruising alongside FSU Hall of Famers, celebrating all things Florida State with fellow fans who live and breathe the Noles. Don't just watch the highlights. Be a part of the experience. You can visit cruisewiththenoles.com to secure your spot today. Well, I'm going to do that here in this break, and on the other side, we'll talk to Brooke Wyckoff about 2 big games coming up here this week at the Tuck. We'll be back after this timeout.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
It didn't start here.
But everything it stood for still does.
Some things change.
And some things never change.
Tradition, dedication to excellence, a program built on grit.
And driven by growth.
From the tunnel to the turf, every step forward tells a story.
Just like ours.
Where growth, determination, and a dedication to excellence meet.
Scott and Wallace.
Well, back here live inside Glory Days Grill. One more segment with head coach Brooke Wyckoff. And we got a busy week coming up here inside the Tucker Center. Not only is it the last two home games, but of course Senior Day coming up on Sunday. I know that's going to be big for you, Coach. But before we start and talk about Senior Day, let's talk about your next opponent. Tomorrow, taking on the Cal Golden Bears. It's our opponent preview presented by FRLA. FRLA is proud to support FSU athletics, bringing unmatched rivalry and heart-pumping competition to the Big Bend region. Sporting events boost the local economy, filling hotel rooms, restaurant tables, and creating unforgettable experiences for residents and visitors alike. To learn more about Florida's hospitality industry and the events we support, you can visit frla.org. So, Cal, coming to town, it's got to be nice, I would imagine. It was the trip that we had to make to the West Coast last year to take on both Cal and Stanford, and that has been the new norm now in the ACC. But for both of those teams, they'll make the trek here to the East Coast. It'll be their last trip of the year. Cal coming in 16-11 overall, 7-7 in the ACC. They've had a couple of players leave, a couple of players obviously stay, and some big-time transfers. Their leading scorer right now, Lulu Twydale, we saw her as well last year, 14.5 points per game. But from your perspective, Coach, what's your kind of scouting report when looking at this Bears team?
Yeah, this is a balanced Cal Bears team. Twydale is a phenomenal three-point shooter, but they have other very capable three-point shooters. But they also have a big post player in the middle. She's a transfer from South Carolina, Sakima Walker, 6'5", and just a force down there. So we'll have our work cut out for us in terms of they are a balanced, offensively, just dangerous team from inside and out. And they're good defenders. They're just a solid team, like you said, 7-7 in the league, solid, and just kind of spread around scoring wise and defensively do a good job.
Yeah, Twydale took 13 threes versus us last year. She's fourth in the nation in three-point attempts. That's definitely what she tries to do. And of course, you mentioned Sakima Walker coming over from South Carolina. They got another SEC transfer as well, a Miracle Shepherd, someone we saw who's made impacts for their team as well. But Coach, got to ask you about tempo in this matchup. How important will that be for your squad to try and push the pace in this one?
It'll be huge. And then we've talked about it the last 2 days in practice. We want to play with a little bit more pace than we did against Louisville, and we're capable of doing that. And so Sakima Walker, she's very agile. She's fast, but she's 6'5", so if the more we can wear her down and run up and down and challenge their guards on the ball, the better. We play really well when we're in the open court and going fast.
Yeah, well, I got to mention for this game, it's a throwback Thursday game, so if you're inside the Tuck coming out to support, you'll see the throwback logos and graphics and themes as well, but also some deals. If you show a student ID, half-price concessions. Yes, half-price concessions with a student ID. And let me entertain everyone. How about this? $6 beers. If I wasn't working, I know I would take advantage of that. So come out and support the ladies. You're going to see an incredible game here in the ACC and some awesome deals going down inside the Tuck. I know you're probably a fan of that one too, Coach.
Yeah, well, I hope I don't feel like I need a beer tomorrow. Yeah.
Listen, but talking about Cal, this is something we talked about in the last week was Amaya Bonner. She transferred to your team from Cal, where she started, the California native. That was her freshman year. And last year when we went into Berkeley, that was at the time her season high, her best game as a Nole in front of family and friends. She put up 14 points. But boy, has Amaya really blossomed as well over the past couple of weeks. You brought her more into this playmaking role. She set career highs in points and rebounds and assists in games, and now you have seen her become the player that she is. What can you say about the job that she's done and how she has grown in her senior season?
Yeah, it's been so gratifying to see the growth of Amaya Bonner. I think a lot of us that have been following Amaya since she got here have known that she has the potential to do what she's been doing this year, and so to see her reach that potential and continue to do new things every game statistically, and also lead our team in a lot of ways. She's been here. She and Avery Treadwell are the ones that have been here the longest in 3 years, and they know our system, and they're able to really play well and thrive in it because of those years under their belt. So Amaya has given her all for the team. She's done whatever we've asked her to do this season, and it's great to see her having that individual success.
Well, we got to continue on that topic, because then after the game tomorrow, of course, the last game of the season inside the Tuck, Senior Day on Sunday, taking on Stanford. You have 4 seniors. We just mentioned Amaya Bonner, another one, Sydney Bowles, who's now in her second season with the Noles, and then Jazz Shavers and Allie Kubek. When you just take in what this day is for the players, for yourself, just kind of take us through what that's all going to be like.
Yeah, Senior Day is really special. It's just a tribute to those young women that have put so much into these years, and before college and then during these years here. And no matter how long they've been at Florida State, we're just so thankful for what they've given, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We want to celebrate them. And all 4 of those players have given their heart and soul to the team this year, and sacrificed and given so much, and just come to work every single day ready with a smile, just no matter what. And so I'm just excited to celebrate all 4 of them and hopefully compete for a win.
Yeah, let me build on that too, Coach. That's something, again, that we have talked about so many times this season. The work that we don't see behind the scenes that your staff, and these players are constantly putting in every day to try and be the best version of themselves on and off the court. When you talk about just this group, this team, the vibes, that's something I feel like I get to see, the way that these players interact with each other and with the staff. How special has that been from the connection they've been able to form?
It's been so wonderful to coach this group, and I'm not just saying that. These are 10 young women that 7 of them were brand new, and they came in just with a commitment to building relationships, to being all in, to learning, to growing together. And a lot of times, you start strong in that area and the cracks come in and we kind of splinter at times, and that never happened this year. This team has stayed united no matter what the result of the games were, no matter how they were individually performing. They've always cheered each other on. They've always been in each other's corner, had each other's back, and had fun. And so no matter the results, it's been so great as a coach to watch them have fun together. And like I said, show up every single day just ready to work again together. And that's been a really, really gratifying part of the season for me.
I love it. Fun group, that's for sure, Coach. Thank you so much for your time always joining us here at Inside Seminole Basketball. One more round of applause for the head coach. Hey, got to let you know Florida State Athletics would like to thank Grassroots Coffee for their support of Florida State basketball. Order 6-man blend, the coffee that supports Florida State basketball at grassrootscoffee.com. Grassroots Coffee, made for everyone, loved everywhere. And of course, Coach, for you, here is a 6-man blend you can take home with you and enjoy. There you go, Grassroots Coffee. Got to love it. Coming up next here on Inside Seminole Basketball, I'm joined with Tatum Green and Soleil Williams to wrap up the show. That's coming up when we return.
Yay.
Hey, your voice is amazing. Let him hear it.
When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more.
Give me a word, give me a sign. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find.
You're unstoppable.
I'm just getting started.
Well, I'm here to help.
At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking.
Your home. It's the one place that no matter how busy life gets, your friends and family can always find you. It's where they can show you they care, they want to celebrate with you, or they just have your back. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning are always available to make sure your home and all the people who love to share it with you are comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, we will always be there for you.
Live from Culhane's Grill, this is Inside Seminole Basketball.
Welcome back in for Inside Seminole Basketball. One more segment to wrap up the show before I introduce these two ladies to my right. I got to tell you that the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles is here to remind you that if alcohol is in the mix, driving isn't. So plan ahead, designate a driver, grab a ride share, or stay put. Winning starts with smart choices. Drive sober, arrive alive. Go Noles. Well, here we go. I know y'all are excited to be up here joined with me. Let's get another round of applause for Tatum Green and Soleil Willie. Your head coach, when I'm, grateful to be around y'all all season and traveling and practice and shoot around, the vibes that this team has collectively, all 10 of you, has been really fun to watch. So I'll start with you, Tatum. Both of you transfers coming in here. What has that been like, getting to know all these girls this season and the connection that y'all have been able to form?
It's been great. I feel like Soleil, Amaya, Sid, Avery, they really were intentional about like who they wanted to be on the team, and I feel like everybody is pretty much like the same person but like different font.
Yeah.
But it's just been great. We all love each other on and off the court, so it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been a journey actually, just being able to hang with everybody together and individually, just seeing how we all click and we can all be different but all come together at the same time and play together. It's been an experience. I've been enjoying this whole career and journey of just playing together, really.
Well, let's continue to build off of stuff we talked about before. I'll go to you, Soleil. We talked about your improvement and some of the things that you've been able to do this year, the moves that you have. Let me talk about some of the moves, by the way. You got some vertigo-inducing spin moves, I would say, in the lane. The step-back threes and shots that you've been pulling out. I don't know if you've always had this, if this is what you've been working on, but what's been the secret sauce to get this scoring that you have had so far this season?
Really my dad. I would probably say the secret sauce is my dad. He's always been there for me throughout like my whole process of just improving throughout basketball, and he's been training me. So I guess just all the things that we worked on since I was young has just came so natural to me now and has traveled with me throughout this whole career of mine. So that's really where I get all of my skill from, is my dad training me all the time.
and efficiency has been a thing for you too, and how you're scoring. You've had 6 20-plus point games, by the way. 4 out of those 6 you've shot 50% or better from the floor. So when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. That's for sure. It's fun to watch. And Tatum, I bring that same question to you, not necessarily on offense, although you've had career highs in pretty much every category here with Florida State, but defensively as well. I mentioned that before. The steals, the blocks, the way that you continue to hustle on each end of the floor. Where do you feel like your game has grown again here in Tallahassee?
Well, I think they just give me like the defensive freedom. I'm able to switch 1 through 4. And just really just use my length and like my athleticism to my advantage.
Where did it start for you in basketball and your love for basketball to even get you to where you are here now?
Well, like Soleil, it was with my mom. My mom played professionally. She played at UNC and she played overseas for multiple years. So just really just growing up in that environment just basically put me in this position.
By the way, she mentions her mom. If you actually go back, her mom and Coach Brooke played against one another 4 times at UNC and Florida State. And actually go back to December 5th, 1998. Your mom had 26-5. Brooke had 19-7. Now, Coach Brooke had 2 blocks on your mom. I'll mention that. So you can pick which stat line you want, but pretty cool going back and finding that. And I can't imagine growing up with that sort of influence as well. And Tatum, Soleil, I go back to you. You mentioned, of course, your dad as well. But where else do you feel like your love, and where did it start for you when you picked up a basketball?
Honestly, it started for me watching my brothers and my brother and my sister playing, and that was when I was really young. I probably started in, I want to say 4th grade, 4th grade, doing rec ball. And then I actually had someone on my team that was really good, and I really looked up to her, actually. And I was just always I want to be as good as her, and I just kept improving until I got here.
Here we are. Well, let's go back to the first question or second question I asked you. What about for you personally, the favorite part of your game? What defines Soleil Williams? When you step onto a basketball court, what's your favorite part of your game?
I would probably say get into the hole. I think I really like that I'm able to be a 3-level scorer, but just being able to create for myself and for others and being able to get to the basket when I want to, I think that's one of the most things that I like the best about my game, honestly.
Same question to you.
I would just say versatility. I feel like I can do guard skills and then still improving on my interior because I am tall. But I would just say versatility.
So building on this, obviously both of you are transfers your first season here in Tallahassee. Where do you feel like Florida State as a whole, this coaching staff, this place has helped you both to grow in your games?
I would probably say my confidence for sure. I feel like with everything that I do, whether it's good or bad, I will have coaches there for me to tell me what I need to do better and what I am doing good, and always just continue to breathe life into me because they know that I can be very hard on myself. So just having that coaching staff to always be the good person in my ear to just keep me.
They're always instilling confidence within everybody, not just one person, because at different schools you might just be focused on one specific player, but here they're focused on everybody and just want everybody to grow and be their best self.
Where's the 3 ball been improving for your game? By the way, you've now made a 3 in 6 straight games. Before that, you only had 1 in 5 games, so that's been becoming more of a part of how you've been playing. Has that been something you've been trying to grow as well?
Yeah, last year I was pretty much known as a 3-point shooter, but this year I'm just trying to still grow my game and then just keep getting better.
All right, so one more question for y'all. I'll finish off on a fun one here. If you had to choose game-winning shot or game-winning block, which one are you going with? Is it easier or is it
game-winning shot?
Easy one. I would say block.
Game-winning block? Okay, I figured we would be touring there. I had to end on that one. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us here on Inside Seminole Basketball. One more round of applause for Soleil Williams and Tatum Green. What a show that we had here inside Gloria Days Grill, a special edition men's and women's basketball. Thank you so much to everyone that makes this show possible. The entire Seminole Productions crew, of course, the voice of the Noles, Jeff Culhane. I'm Jack Kavovitz signing off from Gloria Days Grill. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, go Noles.